Thank you. Well, Chris, first of all, let me thank the Maltese presidency for a wonderful start. Get used to come together in Brussels more often, but also us coming to Malta. And I really believe that what you said just now, that in unity is strength, is something that is so evident, if not self-evident, coming from a country that is so much exposed to the dangers, but also the opportunities of our geography and history, and also that the added value of being a union is something we have somehow to rediscover, and I think the Maltese presidency will help us doing so. But let me thank, first of all of you, and in particular Elisabetta, for the work, not only that you're going to have in this 2 days conference, that is very important, I think, for the follow-up of our work, but also for the opportunity to be here with you today. To all of you, the fact that someone that is dealing with external policies of the European Union is here is self-evident. It might not necessarily be the case for our, let's say, structures or citizens in the European Union, even if indeed there's nothing more external than space, if you think to that. But also because there's a clear link with our security and our defense. Most of you are very much aware of that, much more than probably I am. But I think that this is a link, a field that we need to explore more and more in these months and years. The main focus of this conference is our space strategy, and I'll come to that in a minute. And I'm sure Elisabetta will focus a lot on that. And by the way, I would like to thank her and her team for a wonderful work we've done together with really a team spirit that sometimes is new in our institutions. But I would like to start with another strategy, our global strategy for foreign and security policy that I presented last summer and that we are now putting in practice together with all European institutions, together with all member states. We wanted this global strategy to be truly global. Which is to cover all the fields and all the tools of our external action. So the global strategy also looks at our skies from two main perspectives. First, we stress the need for cooperation and to develop some kind of common governance of space activities. Second, we all understand that space is essential to our own security and to our economy. So we have a strong and clear interest, and here I'm quoting the global strategy we adopted, to, I quote, promote the autonomy and security of our space-based services. Let me take a small step back in time and focus on governance. We all know that human exploration of the outer space began as a space race between the US and the Soviet Union. Today, the Cold War is over, and I believe it's over forever. I don't only believe it, I also hope it. But the race to the space is still going on, although in a very, very different manner. There are not just two superpowers, but a long list of countries with diffused power, but also with large space programs. And beyond governments, there is a long list of non-state actors, from telecommunication firms to universities to all kinds of companies. So our skies are getting more crowded. It is more important than ever that we cooperate and look for a set of common rules. Space is a global common. It does not belong to any one country because it belongs to all mankind. So we must all take responsibility for what happens above our heads to keep our space safe, clean, and accessible to all. If I can use a term of reference, we often refer in the European Union to the fact that we invest in a rules-based global order. Well, this can apply also to our space, probably. And we don't have so many actors in the world of today, and probably of the world of tomorrow, hopefully more on the day after tomorrow. We don't have too many actors that are investing truly in a world-based global order. So we have a special responsibility as Europeans to play our role, to link up with the actors that share our same agenda, and to try and bring this agenda forward for the sake of Europeans, but also of others. So the EU and member states proposed some years ago to negotiate an international code of conduct for outer space activities. Our proposal has received support from a large group of countries, and we keep working to reach an agreement on a voluntary code of conduct. The European Union will also continue to work for the prevention of an arms race in outer space, which is critical for the UN disarmament and arms control agenda, which is an agenda that we support actively and with a lot of energy. Last June, the UN Committee on Peaceful Use of Outer Space agreed on the first set of guidelines for the sustainability of space activities. It is a step in the right direction towards common rules for a common good, and we encourage the member states of the committee to keep working towards a second set of guidelines. We're not only engaging inside the international institutions, but also, we would say, in other fields on the ground, I guess here I would say in the sky, because the EU Space Surveillance and Tracking Support Framework is providing concrete support to all these goals. This program has now begun to deliver operational services based on a pool of member states' capacities. We are engaging with all our tools, our diplomacy, our political weight, because indeed we have some, sometimes we don't realize how much weight we have, and our capabilities, because better global governance will only be achieved if we are able to look beyond the traditional domains of foreign policy and reach new frontiers. And by definition, here we're talking about a new frontier that is not so new for us Europeans. But as we work with our partners for more cooperation on the international arena, there is some work we need to do also here at home, inside Europe. We have a strategic, an economic, and a political interest to invest in our space capabilities. First of all, a strategic interest for our foreign policy. Our security needs are evolving fast, for instance, on maritime security. And today we realize that our space infrastructure can serve many different purposes that are key to our security, from monitoring climate change to better planning our development policies. This is why we are upgrading our European navigation system to the third generation. This is also why we are investing in our own global navigation and Earth observation systems with the Galileo and Copernicus programs. To do so, we have developed our European launchers, such as Ariane 6 and Vega C, so that the European Union has already become the largest institutional customer in Europe, surpassing our member states. No need to say, this is good for our economy, for our research, and for our industry. And let me add that this is good for our citizens, who can benefit from the new services, but also, and I would like to stress this, because this is something we should apply in all sectors of our activities, our citizens can benefit not only from the services, but also from the economies of scale, which is the real strength of being a European Union, and a more efficient procurement and a better spending of our own resources. Finally, and I conclude, we have a clear political interest to invest in space. Strategic autonomy in this field would not only benefit our citizens and our member states, but also our partners, because the development of the full spectrum of security capabilities will make us a stronger partner, not only a global player relevant to the security of all Europeans, but also for our friends around the world that are demanding more and more from the European Union to be a security provider around the world, including for our American friends. So we can set our partnerships globally on a more equal footing, sharing more equally the costs and the responsibilities of our common security, and also increasing our own work on our internal security. So Europe can be and should be a space power. But we can only do so if we act together as a true union. We face a world of continent-sized space powers with continent-sized budgets, and we come out of a long economic crisis. So the only way to go for it is doing it together. We together can develop a world-class industrial and technological base. Only together can we promote a rules-based global order that reaches out to the space. This is the aim of our space strategy for Europe, and here I guess I pass the floor to Elisabetta, which is the first unified space policy of the European institutions, the member states, and the European Space Agency. So Europe can and must be a space power. We can and must be a force of cooperation, security and peace to the benefit of European citizens, but also for the whole world, also in the space. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mogherini. Mrs. Bielkowska, we are all really impatient to listen to you.